Hello from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Today we're going to look at 4 things from Joshua 7 and 8. Well, first, the walls of Jericho had just fallen in our last chapter, the first victory of the Promised Land. But secretly, Achan, son of Carmi, has kept some of the things that were supposed to be destroyed. Now, he thinks he's going to get away with it, but we find that sin always has its consequences. Always has consequences for you, the sinner, but often your sin could embroil those around you as well. And that's the case here with Carmi. 2, when we don't listen to God, it's going to catch up with us. In this case, 36 men die because Achan did his own thing. Israel goes up to attack the next place, Ai, or I guess you could say. We'll just go with Ai. And they go up there to take it. This should be easy. God's on our side. 36 men die. So they ask God, what's the deal? We were supposed to be victorious here. God says somebody took from the things that they are not supposed to take. And so God shows them who the culprit is, Achan, son of Carmi, and they stone him to death, and they burn all the things that they're supposed to burn. Number 3, this time, therefore, they'll be victorious, and it does go well. They go up to Ai with more men than they had taken the first time, and they have this little strategy they're going to work out. Partway through, Joshua has a similar moment than that which Moses had. God tells Joshua to thrust forth his spear, and as long as he does that, the people are victorious. If you recall, Moses held his arms up one time, and as long as his arms were up, the children of Israel were winning, but when they started coming down, they started losing. So Aaron and Hur propped his arms up. Well, in this case, we just get the story that Joshua has his spear thrust out. And they do become victorious. So they're excited about that. They do what they're supposed to do. Now Joshua gets the people together, puts some of them on Mount Ebal, some on Mount Gerizim. They read the law aloud and do the blessing and cursing, one on each mountain, just like they're supposed to, all to fulfill what Moses said. Aside from this little hiccup in Ai when Carmi didn't do what he was or Achan, son of Carmi, didn't do what he was supposed to do, then children of Israel are doing pretty good for now. Well, let's jump in. Let's look at chapter 7. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing, for Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of the accursed thing, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel. And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Beth-aven, on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, Go up, view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai. And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but just about 2,000 or 3,000 men to go up and smite Ai. And make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few. So there arose thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai smote them, about 36 men, after they chased them from the gate, even to Shebarim, and smote them in the going down, wherefore the hearts of the people had melted, and became as water. And Joshua rent his clothes, and fell to the earth on his face before the ark of the Lord, until the eventide, he and the elders of Israel, and put dust on their heads. That's a classic sign of mourning. Joshua said, Alas, O Lord God, wherefore hast thou brought us all this people over Jordan to deliver us into the hands of the Amorites to destroy us? Would to God that we'd been content to dwell on the other side of the Jordan. O Lord, what shall I say when Israel turneth their backs before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it, and they shall environ us round, and cut off your name from the earth. And what wilt thou do unto thy great name? And the Lord said unto Joshua, Get thee up, wherefore thou liest on thy face? Israel hath sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them, for they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and disassembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you any more, except ye destroy the accursed thing among you. So you have a choice. Either God leaves and just lets Israel go, or they must find it out and destroy it. Up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For the Lord saith, the God of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of thee. O Israel, thou canst not stand before thine enemies until ye take away the accursed thing from among you. In the morning, therefore, ye shall be brought up according to your tribes, and it shall be that the tribe which the Lord taketh shall come according to the families thereof. And the family which the Lord shall take will come by households, and the household which the Lord shall take shall come man by man. It shall be that he that is taken the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, he and all that he hath, because he hath transgressed the covenant of the Lord, and because he hath wrought folly in Israel. So Joshua rose early in the morning, brought the Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken. Now this is a classic chance for the Urim and Thummim. Remember, they cast these little lots, and they decide, oh no, it's not you, and they bring someone else, and they cast a lot. Oh, it's not you. Cast a lot. Oh, it's you. That's what they're doing. The priest would be praying over this. And he took the family of the Zerahites, and he brought the family of the Zerahites, man by man, and Zabdi was taken. And he brought his household, man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, was taken. And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord thy God of Israel, and make confession to him, and tell him what thou hast done. Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed I have sinned against the Lord, God of Israel, and thus I have done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekel weight, then I coveted them and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran up to the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver underneath it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua, and to all the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had. And they were brought to them in the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and burned him with fire, after they had stoned him with stones. And they raised up a great heap of stones over him till this day. So the Lord turned away from the fierceness of his anger, wherefore the name of that place is called the Valley of Achor this day. That is trouble. Chapter 8. And the Lord said to Joshua, fear not, be not dismayed. Take all the people of war with thee, and arise, go up to Ai. See that I have given the hand of the king of Ai, and his people, and his city, and his land. And thou shalt do to Ai and her king as thou didst to Jericho and her king. Only the spoil thereof and the cattle thereof shall ye take prey for yourselves. Lay an ambush for the city behind it. So Joshua arose and all the people of war to go up against Ai. And Joshua chose 30,000 mighty men of valor, and sent them away by night. And he commanded them, saying, behold, ye shall lie in wait against the city, even behind the city. Go not very far behind the city, but all be ready. And I and all the people who are with me will approach the city, and it will come to pass when they come out against us, as at the first, that we will flee before them. Therefore they will come out after this, till they have drawn them from the city. For they will say, they flee before us, as at the first. Therefore we will flee before them. Then ye shall rise up from the ambush, and seize upon the city, for the Lord God will deliver it to your hand. And it came to be that when ye have taken the city, that ye shall set the city on fire, according to the commandment of the Lord shall you do. See, I have commanded you. Joshua therefore sent them forth, and they went to lie in ambush in the abode between Bethel and Ai, on the west side of Ai. But Joshua lodged that night among the people. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and numbered the people, and went up, and the elders of Israel before the people to Ai, and with him all the people of war that were with him. They went up and drew nigh, and came before the city, pitched on the north side of Ai. Now there was a valley between them and Ai, and he took about 5,000 men and set them to lie in ambush between Bethel and Ai, on the west side of the city. And when that had been set against the people, even all the host that was on the north of the city, and their leaders on wait in the west of the city, Joshua went that night in the midst of the valley. And it came to pass, when the king of Ai saw it, that they hasted and rose up earlier. And the men of the city went about against Israel, he and all his people, at the time of appointment before the plain. But he wist not that there were liers in ambush against him in the city. So the king of Ai does not know that Joshua is lying in wait for him. And Joshua and all Israel made as if they were beaten before them, and they fled by way of the wilderness. And all the people that were after them in Ai called together to pursue them. And they pursued after Joshua and were drawn away from the city. And there was not a man left in Ai or Bethel that went not after Israel. And they left the city open and pursued after Israel. And the Lord said unto Joshua, Out, stretch out the spear that is in thy hand toward Ai, for I will give it into your hand. And Joshua stretched out the spear that he had in his hand toward the city. And the ambush arose quickly out of their place, and ran and stood as he stretched out his hand. And they entered into the city, and took it, and hasted to set it on fire. And when the men of Ai looked behind them, they saw, and behold, smoke of the city ascended up to heaven. They had no power to flee this way or that way. And the people that fled to the wilderness turned back upon the pursuers. And when Joshua and all Israel saw the ambush had taken the city, that the smoke of the city ascended, then they returned to them again, and slew the men of Ai. And the other issue out of the city against them, so that they were in the midst of Israel, some on this side, some on that side. And they smote them, so that they left none of them to remain or escape. And the king of Ai they took alive and brought to Joshua. And it came to pass, when Israel had made the end of slaying of all the inhabitants of Ai in the field, in the wilderness where they had chased them, and when they were fallen on the edge of the sword until they were consumed, that all the Israelites returned to Ai and smote it with the edge of the sword. And so it was that day all fell, both men and women. They were 12,000, even all the men of Ai. And Joshua drew not his hand back, wherewith he stretched out the spear, until he had utterly destroyed all the inhabitants of Ai. Only the cattle and the spoil of the city Israel took for prey amongst themselves, according to the word of the Lord, which he commanded Joshua. And Joshua burnt Ai, and made it a heap forever, even a desolation unto this day. And the king of Ai hanged himself on the tree at eventide. And as soon as the sun went down, Joshua commanded that he should cut his carcass down from the trees, and cast it at the entrance of the gate of the city, and raised thereon a great heap of stones that remaineth to this day. And Joshua built an altar unto the Lord of Israel in Mount Ebal, as Moses the servant as it is written in commanded the children of Israel, as it is written in the book of the law of Moses, an altar of whole stones, over which no man hath lifted any iron. And they offered thereon burnt offerings unto the Lord, and a sacrifice of peace offering. And he wrote there upon the stones a copy of the law of Moses, which he wrote in the presence of the children of Israel. And all Israel, and all their elders, and officers, and their judges stood on this side of the ark, and on that side before the priests and Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, as well as the stranger, as he that was born among them. Half of them were over against Mount Gerizim, and half of them over against Mount Ebal, as Moses the servant of the Lord had commanded before, that they should bless the Lord, bless the people of Israel. And afterward he read all the words of the law, the blessings and curses, according to all that's written in the book of the law. There was not a word of all that Moses commanded, which Joshua read not before all the congregation of Israel, with the women and the little ones and the strangers that were conversant among them. So God made them victorious, and what else to say? It's the same for us today. We think we can get away with our sin, but it always has consequences for us and often has consequences for those around us. Well, we're doing great, plunging into the book of Joshua. Look forward to more of it. Catch you next time.